Hang on, let me see, yeah.
Mission Village final plat.
If they're putting the apartments in there, I can't vote on
I'll
them.
just let you say that right before the beginning to it.
Before the discussion or before the voting?
Well, if you're not gonna vote, you should discuss it.
Okay, so I say it when you bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's A and B because that's both mission, homestay, and mission. Yep.
Welcome everyone to the regular meeting for the City of Evans City Council, August 5th, 2019. I'm Brian Rudy, the mayor. I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Rudy?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Clark?
Here.
Councilmember Mortensen?
Here.
Councilmember Johnson?
Here.
Councilmember Spear?
Here.
Councilmember Kessel?
Here.
Councilmember Neal?
Present.
Next item on the agenda is a proclamation. The proclamation proclaiming Tuesday, August 6, 2019 as National Night Out in the city of Evans, Colorado. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch held the first National Night Out in 1984 by encouraging neighbors to turn on their porch lights and sit in front of their homes. And whereas this year over 38 million neighbors from 16,000 communities will participate in the event, and whereas National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the city of Evans to join with thousands of other communities across the nation in promoting cooperative police community partnerships to keep our neighborhoods safe. Whereas the citizens of the city of Evans play a vital role in assisting the police department through joint crime and drug prevention programs, and whereas police community partnerships and neighborhood safety and awareness are important themes of the National Night Out program. Whereas the city of Evans encourages citizens to organize block parties and other events to bring neighbors together to celebrate this event. And whereas members of the city council and city staff will visit the many celebration sites and meet with our community members to foster positive relationships and dialogue. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the city council of the city of Evans do hereby formally designate Tuesday, August 6, 2019 as National Night Out in the city of Evans, and encourage all citizens to join with our police department in keeping Evans a great place to live, work, and play. In testimony whereof, the mayor of the city of Evans has hereunto subscribed his name and has caused the official seal of the city of Evans to be hereunto affixed on this day, the 5th of August, 2019. Is there anyone here to grab for this proclamation? Chief Brandt, you're gonna come get it? Yes, sir. Thanks for walking up here, Chief. You're walking there. We look forward to seeing you and all the citizens and your staff out tomorrow night. It's gonna be a great night. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item not on the agenda this evening? Seeing none. I know there are a few changes to the agenda. I am going to put items number 10 and, sorry?
I think there might be one.
Oh,
Are you here?
sure, that was the time right there. Please step up to the podium, state your name and address. Welcome, thank you for being here.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Patricia Ulrich, 1720 32nd Street, Unit 25, Chapel Commons subdivision, on 32nd Street and 17th Avenue. And these two ladies here, they live in the community and they're representing the community with me. And we have some issues there with high volume of traffic and noise. And it's affecting the quality of life of the people that live in the area. And so we would like something to be done to take care of this issue. We cannot, the people that live right off of 32nd Street, near that stop sign, the four-way stop sign at Chapel Commons, it's hard to sit outside on your patio and enjoy your evening or even in the morning because of all the noise, the volume of the noise. You have to talk over each other just to hear each other. You really can't enjoy yourselves out there. There's a lot of loud traffic, such as the semis and motorcycles and loud mufflers on people's vehicles, and they like to hot rod through there, run the stop sign at times, and they speed at high rates of speed through there. I have talked to the chief of police here in Evans, and they posted those speed limit signs that remind you of what the speed limit is there. However, people, though they're not good babysitters, people aren't paying attention to it, and they're just flying right by them, you know. You might have one here and there that'll obey the law, but not very many. It's pretty bad through there, and I would encourage you guys to come out and do a test of the area, a noise level test. My husband, when we were out there, and we were doing that with an implement that we have today, and it was over 80, what do you call those? Decibels. We stood in our front yard. Then we went over behind a fence, a plastic fence that's there, and the plastic fence wasn't a good sound barrier at all. And and inside the house, when these vehicles go by like that, and then the loud music and the thumping that the bass is up so high, it does rattle our walls pretty bad. And this can start as early as 5 o'clock in the morning and go as late as 11 o'clock at night. 5:30 this morning is a prime example of someone walking down 32nd Street in front of the nursing home with a radio in his hand, very loud, and it was rap music, and he was singing loudly walking across to 17th Avenue, and I had my dog out there to go to the bathroom, and it scared him. It scared my dog, and he bolted to the front door. It woke this lady up here that lives in Unit 1, and she's at the other end of the subdivision of those stucco patio homes on the west end. And we would like you guys to help us out. We would like a sound barrier wall actually placed around the property to help with that, plus maybe speed bumps, lower the speed limit, something that could be done to address this issue. And we don't like our grandchildren coming out and playing out in the front yard either. We're scared to death that something's going to tragically happen. And there is a lot of pedestrian stuff going on out there. There is a lot of people walking up and down and riding bicycles and this kind of thing. So, am I 2 minutes up?
Oh, that's okay. You can go as long as you need to, ma'am. You're fine.
Okay, well, I thank you for your time, and I hope we can come to some kind of resolution to fix the issue, to get
Okay.
the traffic under control.
Well, we will be talking to Chief about this item, and then I also know the city manager and myself are going to travel around the city within the next week. We're going to go all around the city, and Jim will make sure we find the right time to stop there and hang out there for a little while.
You know, you're more than welcome to use our home as a home study to figure things out, too, if you'd like. You're more than welcome to come in.
I was out there, and I think it's 32nd and 17th. We installed the four-way flasher light
Right,
stop
yes.
signs because I was out there, and it's right next to the school, and I saw firsthand how people were just going through those stop signs, and there was a child crossing. I mean,
Yes.
luckily it was a small car, so they were able to see, but midway, and that concerned me. And I do understand. Yes, people just
It's scary.
zoom through, and
It's
it is
scary.
scary because there's a lot of children that go through that vicinity, and that concerns me. Just it's a safety issue, and
Well,
I
it's
agree.
definitely a family community. We have a park right across the street, too, and we have the elderly senior citizens living across the street. I seen a gentleman come out on his little motor scooter, coming out into the street, not on the street, but where he can ride in the bike lane, and I was worried about the guy. I seriously was worried about him. You know, the crotch rockets that like to bolt off the stop sign and away from the stop sign, they're just romping on it, and it's every day. And there's a lot of them, and the Harleys do it too. We've got a lot of semi-traffic going through there, using their Drake brakes every now and again. I don't think that should be. I don't think semis should be allowed to go through there. I think we should have what would you call it, a truck route, and get them out of there. That would help because there's a lot of them. I could stand out there and tell you there's probably maybe 4 or 5 every hour. It's a lot. It's extreme that's going through there.
I understand your concern. I live one street west of you guys. And my house backs right up to that. So I understand completely what you're going through, and I hear it all the time as well. As far as the semi-truck is concerned, I'm not sure if but we have a few people on our street in our neighborhood that own semi-trucks, and that's what they do for a living. So they're on our street, not the full semi-trucks, but they're
bobtailing.
right.
Well, and I understand that, and that would be an exemption. I'm a truck driver for a living, and I understand that. If I had to bobtail and park it at my rig at my home, I understand that, you know. But they can keep it down too. I mean, I've got straight pipes on my rig, so I know how loud they can be. And when you pull off, be courteous to your environment around you. Some of these Harley people, they live in your neighborhood, and I've watched them turn down that road. Some of these kids that have the loud mufflers on their vehicles, they live in this neighborhood too. There's one that goes 5:30 every morning like clockwork. The kid goes through there and he likes to romp on it. And it's like, well, there's people trying to sleep here. People like this lady here that she woke up this morning. Her bedroom is right there off the street, and there's no fence. We don't have a fence that surrounds our subdivision. And we really can't afford it. We can't afford to put one up there. We were looking at our budget today, just today. We're an HOA community. We're looking at the budget today, and there's no money there for that. So
Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
time.
I really appreciate
We
it.
will look into it.
Yes, sir.
Well, I live on the corner of 17th and 38th Street, and I was kind of happy when they finally four-laned 17th Avenue from 37th down to 42nd after living with a dirt road there for 18 years. But the increase in the traffic and the noise has definitely gotten worse, and there's definitely more semi-traffic in the middle of the night coming down there. So I empathize with you. I'm cheap. I don't have an air conditioner. I have a swamp cooler. So in the summertime, my north bedroom window is open, and you can certainly hear them coming all the way down from the mall sometimes late at night. So.
Jim, did you have something you wanted to add?
Wanted to say, I'll certainly be back in touch with the chief tomorrow, and we'll be talking about strategies to further evaluate what you're sharing with us and how we can work with you and your community on those issues.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity you've given us this evening.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you for coming.
Is there anyone else in the audience who just wishes to address City Council on any item not on the agenda? All right. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I will be moving items 10 and 11 to following new business item D. So I'll be moving those forward. And that, are there any other changes to the agenda?
Yes.
Item 9B will need to be pulled.
Okay,
For council, that was in place as a contingency with the Tuscany non-potable system, and I'm reading that we don't need that this evening.
thank you.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 7, consent agenda. Item A, approval of the minutes of regular meeting of July 16th, 2019. Item B, consideration of ordinance number 704-19, an ordinance approving an oil and gas lease of certain City of Evans property with SRC Energy, Inc., second reading.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item 8, new business. Item A, consideration of approval of the development agreement for Mission Village final plat and site plan A development within the Mission Springs final subdivision. We'll hear from staff.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the final council approval consideration for this project. This is the next step following the council's July 2nd approval of the final plat for Mission Springs. So with that, I will turn it over to Assistant City Manager Randy Reedy and our interim senior planner Savannah Benedict Welch.
Okay, so we have before us two agenda items. The first item is the Mission Village development agreement. Keep in mind that there are two development agreements associated with Mission Springs development. First is Mission Village, which is the apartment development on the south end of Mission Springs. That is a multifamily development that includes the units that we discussed at the July 2nd hearing. And the development agreement for this particular Mission Village development includes a term of 5 years and also includes the extension of 23rd Avenue So the developer for Mission Village, really the primary difference between the improvements for the Mission Village development agreement and the Mission Homestead development agreement is the extension of 23rd. As we talked about in previous hearings, the city will be looking at building the north portion of 23rd, and the developer will be building Quay Street south to 42nd. So that's part of this development agreement. In addition to that requirement, they also are required to keep construction traffic on 23rd Avenue, so that one of the requirements of the building permit process for Mission Village is that 23rd Avenue will be constructed prior to construction. So that's also included in the development agreement. Keep in mind that we are still working through the cost estimates for the improvements. All the improvements have been negotiated between the city and the developers, so that's all been completed. And just today, actually, they sent us some updates to their cost estimates. So that's still finalized, and I'm assuming by this week we will have that completed before reporting. But in terms of all the improvements, we do have a sound development agreement for both Mission Village as well as Mission Homestead. In terms of some updates for you, and actually I'll go there after we approve 8A, which is the Mission Village development agreement, and then we'll talk about some changes to the Mission Homestead development agreement as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Questions of staff?
Yes, I have a question. You said that they were going to use 23rd Avenue. I got something that said they're going to do a groundbreaking ceremony on August the 30th there for that. So are they just going to complete the 23rd from 42nd to Quay Street before they start, or?
Correct.
What's
Not
required
the
is a
whole thing?
construction access, so they won't actually be constructing the final platform of 23rd Avenue, won't be paved and landscaped and sidewalks. It's a construction access so that they can avoid using any of the streets in Willowbrook.
For now.
For now.
They
For
will
now.
build out.
Yeah, they will, but I mean, for their requirement for building permit is that there be a construction access, so that'll be a gravel road sufficient to handle the truck traffic.
Okay, thank you, Randy.
Right.
Other questions or comments?
I have none.
No.
Pretty straightforward.
If there are no other questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
I'm sorry. I need to recuse myself from this for reasons previously stated, please.
Yeah, thank you.
I move to approve the Mission Village Development Agreement and authorize the mayor to sign the development agreement.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Mission Village Development Agreement and authorize the mayor to sign the development agreement. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item B, consideration of approval of the development agreement for Mission Homestead, a development within the Mission Springs final subdivision.
All right, so similar to the Mission Village development agreement, this is the northern portion of Mission Springs. So this is the single family and duplex development on the north side of Clay. And the primary improvements included with that development will be the extension of Mission Springs Lane, which is the internal road for the home sites within that development. And really, the bulk of that will also include the HOA as well. Mission Village did not require an HOA because it's rental, whereas Mission Homestead does require an HOA, so there is some language within that development agreement regarding the requirement of the HOA as well. There is a section within Mission Homestead for the non-potable water that you'll want to just note. It mentions Mission Village, but we need to change that to Mission Homestead. So there's just a slight error that needs to be corrected within that section.
Thank you.
So, other than that, we're ready to go.
Questions or comments?
None.
No, same as the last one. Hearing none, you're good?
Are you going to recuse yourself?
You're good?
This is it.
Scott, these are houses, is she okay to?
Yeah, my understanding of the nature of your conflict is that you would not have a conflict on the Mission Homestead development.
Okay, good.
I move to approve the Mission Homestead Development Agreement and authorize the mayor to sign the development agreement.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Mission Homestead Development Agreement and authorize the mayor to sign the development agreement. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you.
All right.
Next item, item C, consideration of award of bid 2019 asphalt patch project.
Thank you, Mayor. Our $600,000 pavement management budget allows for one component to be some asphalt patchwork. This is like, picture a partial road reconstruction where you've had too many potholes. It's more than an overlay or more than a seal coat. And it is a significant patch. We have that component of our program for you this evening, and I'll ask our Assistant City Manager, Randy Reedy, and our City Engineer, Mark Oberschmidt, to summarize this program and the bid process and result.
I would just note that this will be the next to last time we're before you for this year's pavement management program. We will come before you, as Jim mentioned, one more time for chip seal in the amount of around $300,000. It'll be pretty extensive coverage throughout town. But I'll turn it over to Mark for description of this agenda item.
So, Mayor, members of the council, we received a total of 3 bids for this project. The low bid was Martin Marietta at $150,000 and $150,142. And then the next bid was $165,000 and change. So Martin Marietta is a well-respected contractor, done a lot of work around northern Colorado. I think that they'll do great work. We have $175,000 set aside, so there's a little bit of a contingency left over above and beyond their contracted amount that the contract is gonna be signed for. So if we find any additional patchwork that we can do in the vicinities where we're working, we'll try to take care of that so we can make the best use of that $175,000. So we would recommend that Martin Marietta be awarded the contract.
Thank you. Questions or comments for staff?
All of these, says page 5, page 6, all of these areas, page 4, those are the areas that are going to be addressed?
There's patching in each of the areas. There's different streets have different patch sections where
Okay.
and we'll go out and remark those because when we went out and marked them initially to determine the quantities, we'll have to remark them because the paint's probably worn off.
Okay. But that's a general area?
General area of the,
Okay.
yeah, and they're broken down on the actual bid tabs by address locations.
No other questions. This is pretty much straightforward.
Yep, no questions.
Nothing else? Any other questions or comments? We'd entertain a motion.
I move to award the 2019 asphalt patching project contract to Martin Marietta Materials, Inc., and to authorize the mayor's signature on an agreement in the amount not to exceed $175,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to award the 2019 asphalt patching project contract to Martin Marietta Materials and authorize the mayor's signature on an agreement in the amount not to exceed $175,000. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item D, consideration of resolution number 18-2019, a resolution ratifying the recommendation provisions to the High Plain Library District bylaws.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, the city is one of a number of municipal members of the High Plains Library District. The bylaws for the organization require any bylaw changes to be ratified by the member municipalities, and that's what we're being asked to do at this time. The 2 changes that the district is requesting do not have apparent certainly harm to Evans, and we have no reason not to support those changes. So with that, we'll ask for council's consideration of a resolution ratifying those bylaw changes.
Thank you, Jim. Questions for staff? Comments?
Pretty straightforward as well.
Yep. No questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 18-2019.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 18-2019. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We're going to next go to reports from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. We get to do a fun one tonight. Council may remember that several months ago when we had a work session about planning for Evans' 150th anniversary celebration, one idea that came from council was to think of either a geocache or a scavenger hunt that the community could participate in that focused on historical areas. The signs that you see around the chambers tonight are the manifestation of that discussion. It is called the Evans History Hunt. We wanted this activity to give families of Evans the opportunity to get out and explore the community and learn about the places and people that throughout the past 150 years have helped shape Evans into what it is today. So we have 11 locations and signs around the east side of Evans. Residents can follow a map to find each sign, which will showcase which location or person is tied to that location. We've also worked with some of the businesses in the area to have some prizes to award with the history hunt. So I think you have a packet at the dais about the event, so you have more of the detail. I was going to share some of the trivia, but I think in the interest of time, I'll leave that. But I think there's some interesting things that the staff tried to pull out about historic Evans and make this fun. So I do want to just on the record thank one of our employees, Sam Sessler, one of our customer service representatives who works at the front. She really did the legwork on the history, working with some other staff too, but also to get the signs made and to make this happen. So thanks to her, and we hope it's fun for the community. And over the next couple of weeks, we'll be sharing a couple other highlights, the programs that we're doing both with the community and the schools to celebrate Evans' 150th anniversary. I think I will stop there in terms of.
I'm excited for this.
Are the signs already up in place?
No, these are the signs themselves, so we'll be placing them, I believe, on Wednesday.
Have the coordinates on the map as well. So for geocaching, people that are all into that, which I'm excited because like the younger generation and many people, my husband does it as well, are able to participate and learn about the history of Evans, which I think a lot of people don't know. Because again, we're kind of clustered in with Greeley and their history. And so it's nice to kind of distinguish ourselves from Greeley and any surrounding areas that, you know, we do have a history. And it's the history long before Greeley. So I'm excited for this.
Thank you. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. On the development side, as you probably can glean, we're getting busier and busier with a variety of projects. The Mission Village, the Mission Homestead project, working on the Peakview development agreement, and then the North Suburban Metro District plan that you heard some about earlier. On the litigation side, you'll probably hear more than you care to from me in the executive session, so I'll save it for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address City Council on any item? Seeing none, we will be going to executive session. We do also have one more item of new business we'll be doing after the executive session, so I just wanted to let that know the public there.
I move to go into executive session to determine the city's position regarding matters that are subject to negotiation, developing strategy for negotiation, instructing negotiators, and to receive advice from the city attorney on issues related to potential annexation referrals and applications, and on issues related to the settlement of pending litigation with Advantage Bank pursuant to CRS 24-6-402 subsections B and E.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go to executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight, guys.
Congrats.